Hey everybody, it's Mark, DoctorDeadwax, and it's time for another video. This is going to be Vinyl Resolutions 2015. First up, 2 Espresso, which is Southern Tier's double milk stout brewed with coffee beans and lemon peels. And cheers. Happy New Year. It's a great stout. I really enjoy it. So this is a 15, 20 minute probably video, all talking, no records being shown. Get out now while you can. Every year I do one of these videos where I talk about my resolutions for the year, and I also revisit last year's resolutions and kind of take stock of what I was able to achieve and what I didn't and stuff like that. So let's go. So last year, the first thing I was talking about was I had a phono stage and a 2 preamp on loan that I was thinking about buying, Musical Fidelity phono stage and a preamp, and I bought those. I was able to buy them on time. I paid those off. I was also subsequently able to buy a couple more things on time, a copper mat, which they're not cheap, but I was able to buy that on time, and one other thing. So a couple good upgrades for the system, and I was really happy those worked out. Another thing was, on this wall, I have a brick wall here, and I wanted to move my turntable, get a friend of mine offered to help me, to build for me a custom shelf to mount my turntable onto the brick wall to isolate it from footfalls and stuff like that in the room. And I also wanted to build speaker mounts and move my speakers off floor-based stands onto the wall. And we were able to do that. Actually, they were installed over the Christmas holidays here, so it's pretty recent, that happened. And the shelf is a huge success, and I'm kind of glad it is, because it was a lot of money. The speaker mounts and the speakers on the wall, I don't know, I'm on the fence about it. I don't really like it. The sound has definitely changed. I'm not sure it's changed for the better. The goal was to see if moving them up there would give me better imaging, and if the imaging would be more holographic. I'm in a very small space here, incredibly near field. The room's 10 feet by 10 feet. But I think I have a funny feeling that I'm going to put the speakers back down on the floor. So tied in with that, underneath the rack and along this wall, I wanted to get rid of the expedits that are there and get another friend of mine has offered to help me out and build for me a drawer-based vinyl storage system, as opposed to the expedits, which are kind of spine on doing, which I absolutely despise. So, but because the speakers are going to come down on the floor again, I haven't gone ahead with the drawers, because the build will be kind of furniture grade if it's for here. So, but if the speakers come down on the floor, I think the records are just going to leave this room entirely and go to the basement, and then we'll probably do the same drawer-based idea in the basement, but it'll be a little bit more utilitarian, because it's going to be about $700 or $800 to build the drawers in here, to do them kind of just plain black and furniture grade. But unpainted plywood for the basement would be probably half that price. So we'll see what happens. I wanted to unload some more gear to help pay for some of my projects, and I was able to sell some more receivers, a couple turntables, a set of speakers, so that all kind of worked out, and that was a success as well. I wanted to be more selective when buying, and I think most people who watch my channel, I say that I want to be more selective every year. I think most people who watch would probably say I failed at that miserably, but I actually think I don't. I leave a lot of stuff that I might have bought 4 or 5 years ago with the intent of selling it and making a couple dollars off of it, but I realize now making a couple dollars off something just kind of means you have money tied up in stock for no reason, just to make a couple dollars. So I've kind of gotten out of that, and I've kind of been focusing on more certain areas, prog and psych and stuff like that, and I don't know, I think I've had some really good buys in the past year. I also wanted to focus on getting some more grails into my collection, things that I've always wanted, things that I'm always going to listen to, like classic UK prog, and I wanted to get like first UK pressings of prog, and stuff like that. And that one didn't really happen, at least not. I think it was pretty much a success, but I don't think it had anything to do with me. Alan sent me a great first UK Genesis pressing, so that was amazing. And David sent me a whole bunch of first UK Van Morrison pressings, so that was amazing. Like, those two people alone helped basically make that a success. I also was able to get 4 post-1990 Van Morrison records into my collection this year, which are incredibly expensive, very rare, and I want them all, and that was a huge success. And I hadn't gotten any in the past 6 years, so that was a great year for that. I'd also wanted to get more Blue Notes. I got more Liberty and Blue Bee, Blue Notes, so those were good. I always buy those, and I try to grow that every year. But I also discovered Music Matters in the past year through Paul, because he sent me 3 of them, which was amazing and incredibly generous, and he got me hooked on them, and I've actually bought quite a few of them, a hell of a lot of them. I haven't shown them, I will soon. But so that was a success. And then the other thing I wanted to get was original pressings of the first 5 Steve Miller records, and I bought a whole bunch of them off eBay. And basically I have Sailor near mint, and everything else was crap. So that was not a success, but I have Sailor near mint. Another goal, a goal the year before had been to get 1,000 records out, and I've gotten that out through donating to a charity table and just kind of sending thrift store grab bag boxes to people of records last year at Christmas. And this year I wanted to get 1,000 out, and I wanted to get 1,000 out selling them, and I was able to do that. I got 1,000 records out of the collection, cleaned, bagged, graded, priced. I did a couple record shows. I sold probably 300 of those, so that was a success, and that money was used towards some upgrades and things like that, so that was good. I wanted to sell my video game collection again, and what was left of it, and again that didn't happen, so I stalled out on that again. Another thing was about the channel. I wanted to refocus the channel. I think I phrased it as being away from consumerism. I felt that I was a little getting too focused on what I'd bought, and less focused on information and DeadWax stuff like pressing info and stuff like that. And I'd come up with a couple of different ideas. One was Retracing the Groove, which was a series where I was showing records I pulled from the collection to listen to. And so I made some of those, not very many of those actually. And the other one was Lead Into DeadWax, where I was focusing on one record, and it was a Canadian record in an attempt to revive the Canadian Album of the Week, which I tried to do the year before and had failed miserably at, and I don't think I did very well at Lead Into DeadWax either. And ultimately, I think I probably showed more after the dig videos this year than I have any other year. And so either I'm a hypocrite or whatever, but I failed miserably at that goal. So yeah, I want to send out more VCLT. I got another 21 parcels out this year, so that was a success. I wanted to go on a road trip to either Jerry's or Chicago or somewhere, maybe Boston I was talking about, and yeah, that didn't happen. My wife's doing her her PhD, and we just don't have the money for vacations right now. It's a hell of a lot of money for that. So while that's still a desire, that's not a reality. That's just a pipe dream, so that doesn't even go on lists anymore for a few years. I continued. I'd lost 50 pounds the year before, and I wanted to try and lose another 50 this year. That actually didn't happen. I got sick at the beginning of the year. I got that plague or whatever that was that I had. And then I injured myself a couple months later, and I was out of commission for a couple months with that. So I didn't lose any weight. I actually gained back 10 of the 50, but I maintained 40 of it off. And looking at it, the way people yo-yo with weight gain, weight loss and gain, I'm going to say that that's a small victory to have kept off 80% of the weight that I lost for a year. So I have another hobby that I like to do that's scale modeling, and I'd hoped to do more of that this year, but I actually didn't do any. I'd hoped to make space for that in the basement, and that didn't happen. I did actually make a space for the basement. My wife and I, we emptied out the basement over the summer. 179 boxes of antiques from when I was an antique dealer like 8-10 years ago before before I had my stroke. So that took 3 months, and it was a hell of a lot of work, and it's done now. So that was a huge success, and that was a project that wasn't in my resolutions, but we're really happy with to get that kind of demon in the basement out of our lives. And the last one was I wanted to continue volunteering. I was doing conversational ESL with some doctors, and that ended. The funding for that dried up, oddly, and it's weird. The funding to help people who had just become Canadian citizens learn ESL dried up, and only existed for people who were landed immigrants but weren't yet citizens, and so I couldn't work with those people anymore. So that was 2014, and I don't know, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that was successful. 2015, what do I want to do this year? I want to upgrade again. I want to upgrade a phono stage. There's a boutique builder in town who's one of the leading repair techs and designers for a whole series of really high-end gear companies. But he also designs and builds his own gear, and I have an opportunity to buy a phono stage that he builds, and he's offered me the chance to buy it on time, in increments, and I think I'd be a fool to miss that opportunity. So I've heard it's exactly what I want. It would be the last thing I would ever need in that area, and so it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get a once-in-a-lifetime piece, and that's what I'm going to work towards this year. The drawer system here, getting rid of the expedits, that's again on the list. I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. Either the drawer system's going to go in here or the vinyl's going to go to the basement, but the expedits have to leave my life. They're just dead storage. I want to sell more gear, and I have to continue to do that. I have a couple more Marantz turntables, I have a couple nice receivers, a couple nice integrated amps. I've got to get that stuff out if I want to achieve that first goal of that phono stage. So got to keep working at that. I want to be more selective in my buying. Again, that's something I struggle with, and I want to keep trying to focus on grails and getting some quality pieces into the collection every year, and not just focus on going out and hunting down specific pieces online through eBay and stuff like that. I want to sell more records, and I am scheduled to do a few more shows between now and the summer. So I think I don't think I'll get another 1,000 records out of the collection bagged and priced, but if I sell a couple hundred at each show, as I have been doing, that's definitely going to move stuff out. So I'm happy if I can continue to do that. The video game collection, it's like an albatross, but maybe I'll just get rid of it in one bulk lot this year. Maybe I'll put it on eBay or something. It's like 40 boxes of stuff. So refocus the channel again. Yes, I still want to do that. The goals I had for last year, I still have. I don't see anything wrong with the After the Dig videos, but I want there to be more variety than just those. So I have an idea for another series that I want to do. I also have an idea for another challenge. Not an inbox challenge. I'm not doing that again as I talked about last year, but I do have an idea for another challenge that I want, and I think I'm going to do that within the next 3 months. So, and again, work on last year's goals, continuing the series that I did create, and a new one. VCLT, keep sending it out. I love sending out VCLT. People are so incredibly generous with me that, to me, VCLT is paying it forward. It's a one-way thing. I don't consider it to be a trade. I never expect anything back from anybody I send it to, and I'm just going to keep doing it because, I don't know, it makes me really happy. Also want to connect with more people in the BC. This year was a really good year for that, and I really liked it. It's kind of a chance to sit down and shoot the shit with people who are fellow record collectors, but away from this kind of one-way dialogue of talking to a camera. And you know, I've connected with Bobby Gass a few times, and I just love hanging out with Bobby. And Bobby, we got to do that again soon, very soon. I've got some stuff for you. We're talking next couple of weeks, so I'll contact you. I hooked up with James now a couple times, gone out to dinner with him a few times in Buffalo, Inner Space Boy. There's somebody who comes to Buffalo once a year that I was supposed to meet up with this year, but we didn't, so I'm hoping to when he comes this summer. And John and I are in the works, making plans to hang out for a day, too. And there's a couple of people who live in Ontario that I'm hoping to connect with over the course of the next year. Volunteering, the conversational ESL thing doesn't seem to be working out, so I think I've always been involved with food banks and community kitchens and stuff, so I'm going to revisit that and go back to that again for this year. What else did I want to do? I want to do some sort of a buying moratorium for 3 months. I'm not sure if I'll stop buying online. Buying online's been a little sketchy lately. A lot of near-mint stuff's been complete garbage, so maybe that's a sign to walk away from that for a while, or maybe I'll stop buying locally. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do there, but I do want to have a little bit of a moratorium. It gives me a chance to focus in on stuff here. And I just passed 1,000 subs recently, and I want to do a 1,000 subs contest at some point soon. I don't know quite when, but in the next couple of months I'm going to do a 1,000 plus subs contest, and I've got a couple of nice prizes already pulled, so that could be a lot of fun. So that's kind of it. 17 minutes, I guess that's long enough. To anybody who sat through that, I don't know why you did. You're some sort of a martyr, but I hope everybody has a great 2015. I know last year some people had done when I did this, they made their own kind of resolutions videos, and I hope that they were able to meet some of their goals. You know, like I said, for me, doing this kind of focuses me in on what I want to accomplish and actually helps me accomplish some things, and I always seem to be able to pull it off. So that's kind of why I do this video. And I hope everybody has a great 2015, and I hope the BC continues to be this awesome place that it is. So Happy New Year, everybody. Have a great 2015. Have a great day. Keep the records back.